Hello, audio testing. 1, 2, 3. Come on, go on. Fucking bugs. Testing one more time. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2. All right. This time we're good, I think. It's crazy. You know what? Honestly, streaming from a Mac, it's really nerve-wracking. You know why? Because the Mac, I realize, is like your little credit card type passport sensitive document computing machine these days, right? At least for me it is. I don't dare to keep any private shit on Windows. I think Windows is like, sorry to make the crude analogy, it's like they've cleaned it up over the years. But for some reason, I feel like a Mac is extremely clean, like a virgin clean. And a Windows machine is kind of like, well, we don't know what kind of STDs it might have, kind of a thing, okay? Like, Windows is not clean. I never think it is. But hey, maybe it's changed. But anyway, things when I stream from a, you think, oh shit, man, you're making all your private shit public. Anyhow, it's gonna be extra careful, right? Like on a Windows, the worst that could happen is, oh, they get to peek at the naughty sites you go to all the time, right? But on a Mac, I don't know. It's probably not gonna happen because Macs have so many like extra precautions these days. But you could like lose like a lot of money, honestly, if you let people get into your Mac and let them do, if I were to write a virus, I think all the wealthy people in this fucking world are using Macs. They're keeping their sensitive shit on their Macs. They're keeping the records of their cocaine sales and whatever on their Macs. They're not gonna store it on Windows just because Macs are really fucking secure. I don't know how you can make an argument it's not. What's more secure? Android's fucked up too, Like they have these really weird versions of Android that let you do this and that. Like, how do you trust these people? How are you gonna trust people? I mean, you can trust Apple, okay? You wanna trust anybody with security is Apple. Because you know why you trust Apple? Because they're too fucking rich to scam you, okay? They got too much fucking cash. They have an asset called, we will take care of your privacy. And they're not gonna let like this information just like, well, maybe to the US government because national security is above everything. But apart from the US government, they're not gonna fucking dick with your information. Because once that gets out, one scandal is all it takes to ruin reputation, and it never comes back. It'll take decades. One violation, one provable incident that Apple has fucked around with your security of your shit, like Brad Pitt says, the real shit, and that's it. No one ever trusts Apple. The Apple name is tarnished. When you look at an Apple logo again, it will signify some fucking scandalous idiots are working up there doing stupid shit because they're just greedy. For the time being, I'll give them my benefit of the doubt, and that's why they have value. Their computers are better. Now, big news, of course, iPhone 17. Holy, 17 Air came out recently. First looks and hands-on from Brian Tong.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, indeed. I like this design very much.
Look what I have in my hand, the new iPhone Air. First look, first impressions. I just picked this up. This is cloud white, all right? So what do we have here? If you look at this carefully, to break this down, this is 5.6 millimeters thin. Yes, this is the thinnest iPhone we've ever had. Am I drinking the Kool-Aid? I'm gonna tell you in hand, this feels incredible. Obviously you have Apple's engineering, a titanium frame, completely polished. But this phone, before we had known about it, this is packed in a lot of pro features. This is a 6.5-inch display, 120 hertz refresh rate, Pro Motion, everything that you expect here. The coating on this is the next generation of Ceramic Shield 2. That means it's 4 times.
All right. Okay, we all know it's gonna be like fucking baller, right? But where's the comparison? Here. There we go. Okay, all right. So, in the wise words of Jeff Bezos, It's too easy in tech to get distracted by gadgets, hoo-ahs, and little ding-dings, you know, because people like to tinker and like ding-dings, they like dong-dongs and everything. But there are things to pursue in tech that have value. And sometimes it's not so apparent going forward, very apparent going backwards. As always, hindsight is 2020. This is not a whatever kind of, it's true. Everyone looks so smart talking about the past. The real money is made talking smart, looking into the future. That's hard. That's very hard. Okay? Like, some might find the smartphone scrolling up and down with the bounce effect to be duh. But you have to understand, there was a time, if those who are old enough to remember, that was not so duh. And when you first saw it, you might not even think, oh, is that cool? That's kind of cool, I guess. It takes actually a quite astute mind to look at something that no one ever seen before. It has not been proven. People who go on YouTube and watch vids because it got high view counts, okay, yes, those are gonna be at least some degree of quality. You can bet your ass on it, because if it didn't, it wouldn't get that much popularity. The trick is, can you identify what's really fucking good but only has 500 views? You see, this is the hard part, right? And there are many cases where you will watch someone skyrocket into popularity, okay? But prior to that event that skyrocketed into popularity, they had nothing, like almost nothing. They had some fans, okay? But some funny event propelled them into the spotlight, and then once in the spotlight, they remained there, okay? The idea, though, is that nothing really changed about them before or after the event. The thing that changed their popularity was the event. So I ask you this question. If it is just the event that propels them into popularity, it indicates that at large, the public does not have a perfect ability to ascertain the true value of something. Make sense? Okay? If they did, the person would not have fewer views prior to whatever fucking event. Example, Jordan Peterson. He was of middling, if not trite popularity before this whole gender pronoun fucking shit happened. And then all of a sudden he becomes a fucking superstar. Right? I mean, he had it in him all along. It's just, he needed an event to bring him to the spotlight. Point being is that, golden rule, the public at large cannot ascertain the true value of something without help. Okay, that's why we have view counts. That's why we have subscriber count. It's because you and I and everyone else that you know, probably, aside from some elite intellectuals such as, you know, Eric Schmidt or Hamabis or whatever, you do not possess. You have to be humble and realize, and me too, I guess, I'm humble too, I have to be humble too, that I do not possess the ability to ascertain value. It's difficult. I've been in that frontier before, and it's kind of uncomfortable, because you're like, well, the guy only has 500 views. He's not proven. Yet anxiety abounds. I can't bet on him. Well, that's the thing. It's a bet, right? That's what investment kind of is. The real money investment is not following what the fucking stock guy tells or the news tells you. That's sort of too late. The money is when you talk about this thing to people, and they go, who's that? What's that? They don't even know. This means this is a chance to get in at cheap prices. The moment it becomes widespread knowledge, it's too late. And the surprising thing is sometimes it's actually the delay is quite large. Example, Palantir. This little Palantir story, I made like 3 times my money off that. I don't even believe it. I thought I was too late. It turns out, no. I sold the fucker. I don't feel comfortable holding that shit anymore. But anyway, that's old news. I don't want to do stocks anymore. I think it's just, it wrecked my brain, so I don't want to do too much. I'll just do the safe shit. I don't want to like think about it all day. Anyway, why I bring this all up? Look at Amazon today, and I think I'm ordering 90% of the things that I order from Amazon, and it's been fantastic. They deliver like quickly. Like, I mean, like, the day has now come. It is now a reality that I order something in the morning before 11, I believe. No, I think the first cutoff is 9 a.m. and then 1 p.m. And it arrives 6 hours later. 6 hours, same day. Okay? While it is still technically faster to drive to the store and buy it yourself, the convenience of having it dropped off at your fucking house for quote unquote free. Listen, people don't realize when I drive, If I just drive like fucking down the fucking street in 2 minutes, it still costs you $1, you know? You gotta factor in the cost of fuel. It's really high. Amazon delivers to you in the same fucking day, all right? It's absolutely insane, but you gotta remember what Jeff Bezos said. Look it up. He said, in tech, don't get seduced by the ding-dings and dong-dongs, because there are ding-dings and dong-dongs. There are things to pursue in tech that are irrefutably noble pursuits, such as, and the question you ask yourself is, would anyone wish it to be the other way? Okay, example, Amazon, fast delivery. Okay, Amazon comes one day, but you're like, fuck, you know what? I really miss the old days when I asked for a delivery and it comes 1 week later. Does it make any sense to you? Does anyone want that to happen? Does even your grandpa, your alt-right, ultra-left, whatever, any person of any sphere of any country would say to themselves, you know what? I find there to be some kind of mysterious value in having my Amazon package delivered 1 week late. Amazon, why the fuck don't you have I don't want fast deliveries because it ruins my soul. I want it 1 week later. No, it doesn't make any sense. So, as difficult as it may seem, instead of changing the Amazon logo again and again or redesigning the site, you spend all the fucking money in the world to make it happen, to make the truck drivers slaves, to deliver customer orders as fast as possible, regardless of costs, regardless of how much slavery is involved. You work fucking hard at it until it's a reality. And sometimes that means laws, negotiations, bribing. I don't know what the fuck they did, Amazon, to get into Japan. I don't know how they set up a fulfillment center here on this island. I don't know. I don't really care, I guess. And it's amazing. And they deserve the money. I'd buy Amazon stock just because on virtue of that, they pull off this shit. You know what I mean? They strive. They strive. They work fucking hard to bring that, or make that a reality to you. And the Amazon choice labels are trustworthy. That is AI. I think people who poo-poo on AI all the time have not experienced how good it is. I mean, it's not just, I don't even use ChatGPT because I don't like typing to AI. I like it as a kind of an assistant, not a full-on interface. But overall, I am very, very bullish on AI. It is the future of computing. This, as a computer scientist, I believe I can speak on some authority on the subject, as I am a quite capable programmer. I did graduate from U of T, Comp Sci. I believe I have some credibility on this, and I have worked with computers my entire life. People always say, you type so fucking fast, you know everything about computers. I do know a lot. I don't know everything. I'm more on the software side anyway, not the hardware side. But anyway, AI is very much on the software side. I mean, the hardware side is just making the chips to make it happen, but the software side is the big core, isn't it? And the applications for software, for AI, are enormous. It's not science fiction. It is not. It is, and as Eric Schmidt says, it is going to happen. I think that is true. There is a certain inevitability of it. I was wondering why that is. It's because humans as a whole, cannot stop pursuing something better or greater. Isn't that true? We can't just go back to the farm and just say, let's live our life in peace and stop pursuing more ambitious things out there in the world. I don't know what it is. Humans just have this desire, like, the building what's it called? The Tower of Babel or something? They build a tower to the sky, to the gods. This is part of what makes people people. Human want to achieve the greatness. They want to achieve something that transcends everything, right? This the kind of thing. And women just want to be along with a ride, support the men that do so, and provide all the offspring they can have, because those are the men that have genetic strengths. That is how the world, I think, essentially kind of works in a nutshell. It is, in the end, like they say, if you want to solve a crime, follow either the money or the woman that were involved with the money. The money or the woman. Men are primarily the perpetrator. If you look at prison statistics, I'm sorry to go on all these tangents, but they are almost, it's like 90% plus men. Okay? Fuck gender equality. Men or women are not built the same. It's not cultural differences. It's fucking hormonal differences. There's a reason why when it's so lopsided towards men being in prison, is because men break rules because they want shit, because they want, and they want to cheat sometimes, and they go against their law. And you have to respect them to a certain degree. They know what they want, and they're willing to take risks to go after it. I don't respect all criminals, just some of them are very interesting, aren't they? And that's why true crime movies are so interesting. But anyway, back to the fucking topic. One noble aspiration for hardware, and Apple is both simultaneously a hardware and software company, aren't they? Because as an owner of a MacBook with a Apple Silicon, one thing that is remarkable that is different from a Windows machine is how compact, small, and energy efficient an Apple can be. You think, who cares about energy efficiency? I just fucking load up on a 10,000 watt, that's stupid. That's stupid. Energy efficiency is not a dumb thing. Energy efficiency, you might say, is at the forefront of all tech. Doesn't matter if you're in a basement with a fucking huge power supply. It's stupid. People want portability. Portability means energy efficiency. It doesn't matter. You're not gonna cram a fucking huge battery in the back of a device. Now, there could be a game changer device, no doubt. A very compact energy battery that's just, but you have to realize that along with high density energy comes danger, right? From a science perspective, if you have that much energy packed on the back of your device, what happens in case of an explosion? There will be legal issues involved. If you have a plane full of people carrying 10,000 gigawatt fucking batteries, do you know how much energy is on that fucking plane now? If an explosion happens, the whole plane just blows up instantly, right? Hopefully at best right now, a battery is just meltdowns or heats or whatever. I don't know what the hell it is, right? So energy efficiency, bottom line, is no joke. That is a thing, okay? I believe high wattage power supplies are really the domain of GPUs and supercomputers and gaming machines. But in general computing, I think portable, energy efficiency, and therefore thinness of the device. That is the hardware. The aspiration is that the hardware just disappears, okay? It becomes more and more and more compact until it is it's like a fucking fork, okay? It's like something you hope, they don't want to make it so small you'll lose it, but at some point it may hit a point where they have total freedom to design the size of this device, and it becomes a fashion object at that point, I would imagine. That is interesting, actually. So here we have a phone that is Apple engineers trying to pursue, at least in the right direction, which is thinness. You ask yourself, does anyone ever want a thicker phone? No, no one does. You might say, well, I do, because I want fucking durability. If you want durability, you always have the option of adding a case, which is always going to be more protective, as it is a sacrificial element you can replace on a thinner phone. A thinner phone will adopt a case and end up with a better size profile and also a better cost profile because you can replace a protective layer at will. All right, so a thin phone in my mind is always gonna be a noble pursuit. Okay, yeah, you have bendability issues perhaps, but whatever. That's why he probably mentioned the fucking hardness is 3 times as strong. The material needs to be rigid to withstand bending. Torsional, is that what it is? The twisting forces and bending forces. I never had a bent phone, so I don't even want to remark about this. But look at the fucking difference between that. The camera bump is a bit of a eyesore, but I mean, they'll get there eventually. Now, that's all the good I have to say about the new phone. I think it's good enough to warrant the $1,000. Honestly. However, it is concerning that Apple is pricing their products at a premium price point that seems to be reserved for the upper class, or at least what we call now in this world, I guess the bourgeois. I'll call it what it is, the bourgeois. I think that we've reached a point in this world where the have and have-nots are now distinctly separate enough that it's kind of going back to some other ages, okay? As Gary Economics site pointed out very astutely, the middle class existing for a long time, I think from the 80s, is actually the exception, not the rule. People have forgotten that before the I don't know what it was, before the World Wars, that the bourgeois and the working class were essentially extremely separated. Okay, think back to those days. Like you look at fucking England. These fucking idiots owned. I don't want to say idiots. These fucking bourgeois. They own castles. Castles. All right. The times are different. People don't want stone castles per se, but the ideas are the same. Instead of a stone castle, you have an ultra modernist house that spans fucking like acres of land. Like, you know what I mean? Like, look at fucking Kanye West's little compound in fucking Wyoming. Is that not a castle? Just a different style, right? Because we have the technology we have today. Same thing, right? Like, instead of the noblemen of the past, you have now the entertainers, and you have the bourgeois of today, or who, right? They're like Kanye West. They're the entertainers, influencers, artists who are revered, who are worshipped by society, and sell their media en masse for millions of, for whatever it is, right? And then you have the people who work and take out the trash, who are paid like peanuts compared to these people, and you have this class stratification, whatever it's called. Well, Apple is making phones for the bourgeois, okay? More and more and more, okay? And they don't give a shit about the garbage guy, okay? Because the garbage guy, well, he wouldn't even appreciate this device anyway, okay? Well, one thing I will point out that when Steve Jobs was alive, that was not the case. He sold his iPhones, he sold his beautiful product at the lowest price point he could possibly afford. I do believe that to be true. The original iPhones, in spite of being very new, in spite of being, it probably cost them a lot of fucking money to develop that, the R&D costs, okay? Let's not forget about that, okay? But they came at a price point of, if anyone could possibly remember, at most 400 US, 500 US dollars, at most. And there's only one option. There's no Pro, Super Pro, Pro model. There's no 5X Pro model, okay? There's only one model called the iPhone. That's it, okay? Your garbage man or your bourgeois, your garbage man and Ariana Grande, okay? The garbage man and Kanye West are all using the exact same hardware and software, and believe you me, there is something good about this, okay? You might even call him a fucking like communist or Marxist or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. He did not care much, I think, for the stratification of wealth between people, okay? I think what he wanted deep down inside was to create the most fucking baller tech you could ever get and disseminate it to as many people as possible, regardless of the repercussions they may have for the company financially, quarterly profits, etc., etc. I think he did not care so much about it. He was wealthy, but he also paid himself $1, okay, a year. It is official. I know it's like a flex. It's like a woke flex thing, maybe, but it makes a statement. It says, I am rich. I have Pixar stock. I can sell. I am rich, but that's not my shtick. All right. You asked me when Oracle was around, and that guy Larry Ellison, that motherfucker, okay, who wants to own like fucking penthouses with women stacked with fucking women to the brim, okay, where he has like swimming pools and gadgets and gazoos everywhere, flexing his fucking wealth. Okay, you tell me there's no difference in these two people. There is a difference. Okay, one is, and believe you me, Ellison, I don't even know what he did. He took for salary. I guarantee it's not $1 a year. Okay, he doesn't even care to make a statement like that. He could do that, but he doesn't want to do that because who would ever say no to free money, essentially? But anyway, point is, Apple today is selling these kind of phones. The price point is a negative. It is good for the stock price. It is good for Apple investors. It is good for all the people who are in the chain who benefit from high profits from these phones. I don't like it, all right? I don't even own Apple stock. I don't want to buy it. I don't want to touch it. It's kind of filthy in my mind right now. But I have to admit, their tech, their OS, still carries the qualities, and I think still to this day, on some level, carries still the aesthetics, the principles, and the sensibilities of pure Apple, which is really Steve Jobs. It's not, Apple is Steve Jobs still in my mind. These two are one and the same, okay? He is the man who created it. He is the one who brought it back to its original glory, I would say, if they ever had one before the iPhone, okay? I lived that glory in full force when the iPhone came out, and peasants like me were able to make millions and change their wealth status almost literally overnight. It was an overnight change, from getting $20 per hour I kid you not, it was about $2,000 a day, okay? Just because you release an iPhone app, all right? You're on the frontier of something amazing, and I kid you not, I really miss that feeling. You wake up every day, and there is no question in your mind what you want to do today. And I tell you, at that point, the code writes itself. You are just there for the ride. I tell you, it's really true. Because, and I miss it. There's like this energy and crackle in the air every morning. It sounds corny, I know. But people who have never experienced this before will never know. It is a wonderful feeling. And yeah, it's, I want to feel it again, honestly, because it was really good. But anyway, it's something that, it's not just the making of money, honestly. It's the fact that there's something going to change, or some kind of revolution is occurring, and you're along for the ride. I don't know what it is. I have to look into this more, but there's a certain miraculous feeling that goes along with it. So anyway, iPhone, very thinnest ever. It is important because it means their tech is getting better and better. Their heat profile is better. Some people remarked in the comments that it's like the iPhone X, which I have and still use to this day, but the battery is very, very dead. And Apple refuses to update my device to ios26 now. They skipped 8 fucking years or numbers. So it is becoming more and more useless as a development device as time goes by. In fact, I can't even use it. I believe it's not even just, I think they stopped at iOS 14. I don't know what it was. It's old. It's 8 years old now, amazingly. And it reminds me of the iPhone X. Honestly, it does, right? It does. iPhone X5 is right. With the pulse titanium. This device is a must-buy for any iPhone user, I think. And but before I bash Apple for the $1,000 price tag, I do believe the iPhone X was also priced at although to be fair, it was the first one with OLED in it. Let's take another look. If you haven't watched the video, watch the video. I mean, I'm not here to show you. You can watch it at your own time. The front of it looks nice, I suppose. Although it is not unlike any other iPhone you might see. Is it thinner around the edges? Not sure. Again, one thing that tech people say, do you want thicker bezels on your display? No one does. So that is a noble pursuit. With a capital M and a capital P, an NP, it's a noble pursuit. It means that pursuing it, even though it may come at great cost, will never be a loss. Will never be a thing you, like if you change the colors from pink to pink purple, this is wasted work at some point, because people will want to go back to something it's fashion, right? It's trendy, right? Trends are not that interesting to me. So yeah, okay. That's all you need to know. Official site, let's see, iPhone Air. Okay, okay. Very thin. They featured, is it the frame of it? Let's see. Price tag is a whopping, in Japan, $160. I take it back. When I first paid for the iPhone X, it was with tax at most $120. That's a significant price bump of about 40 to 50%. And I did not get the baseline. I got the 256. Had it been baseline, I do believe it would have been less than 100 in Japan. So the price tag on this is actually quite disappointing. It is, I believe, Apple's desire to premium price their products. Believe you me when I say it is not about covering their fucking costs, or if it is, they're spending way too much on developing a phone. It's fashion. I mean, it's other shit. They know how to they know how to extort all the money from your pocket. That's for sure. This is a bourgeois item. It screams luxury. It screams status. If you want to flaunt your fucking wealth, this is how you do it. It's sad because it's also mixed in with a good design. People are essentially held hostage, including myself, to the iOS ecosystem. It brings a lot of convenience, peace of mind. It does cover your security needs very well. Apple works extremely hard, I believe, in security. And I did ponder this. You ask the question to Google, okay, up here, okay? If you ask, like, who buys security? Like, not securities, stocks. I mean, who buys physical security? Who buys bodyguards? Who buys alarm systems? Who buys that kind of shit, okay? Wealthy people, obviously. And why? Because they have so much to lose. And poor people kind of hate them. They are targets for burglary, theft. They are because the world is in constant forces of equalization. The poor one, the story of Robin Hood, steal from the rich. I mean, the moment you are rich, and rich people, when I say rich people, you automatically, I think me too, think of some fucking old geezer in his 50s who's a fucking douchebag and flaunts his wealth, has like 5 gold digger women along the side fucking them all the time. That's not always the case though. You will realize that rich people are often very well spoken, very nice, but they do have security. And who doesn't have security? Well, because young people, why bother? No one's targeting you. You have nothing to steal from, and you can't even afford it in the first place. So when Apple is doubling down on security, privacy, obviously they're targeting the fucking elite of the world, the bourgeois, the elite, the wealthy. No surprise there, I suppose. I harp on this because for some people they might think this is a matter of fact. It was not a matter of fact many years ago. And in fact, today, I see people who are not of high standing wealth, who are also rocking iPhones. They spend a lot of money. They live in shitty apartments in Japan. I know what they look like, these shitty apartments. They look like shit, all right? And they're overspending, I believe, on the iPhone because they want one, because a mobile device is their computer. It's everything to them. So I don't know. I got things to say about this. I mean, okay. The argument is that the iPhone does way more shit than it did in the past. That is a fair point. Okay, now on to the next thing. So I can't get the glass effect to work properly. It is cutting off at the edges here in a weird, I don't know what the fuck that is. But let's look at ios26. I'm sorry, people want to see the end, right? Don't want iOS. But this is the new glass effect. Okay, is like this. All right, so I want to tell you, the coolest thing I think is with this effect is pretty cool. You know, when you tap the wrong place or something, I don't know, like it's like an indicator. Tap here. Now this effect not bad, yeah. This you can make use of. UI element, not bad. However, I don't really like this look. It's fine. It's fine, but let's be honest. Do some people prefer the old look that's not glass? I would say yeah. It's pretty nice, no doubt. I just think that this is not in the category of a noble pursuit. This is in the category of trendy fashion that may or may not go in or out of style depending. So I would not give too much stock into the value of this so-called UI glass. What does it actually provide to the end user other than showing to your buddy, look at this thing, doesn't it look neat? These kinds of things I've seen time and time again in life in tech. They are pretty much frivolous. In my mind, it's because you have excess computing power, might as well put to good use for something frivolous that will get your attention. And like, I don't know, you have to open like the Maps app. I don't know, what other apps do we have in here? Like, let's see, like apps, like, you know, like, so I do believe this background is essentially using that algorithm. They're using it for glass effect. And like the text is hard to read. And in concession for this, they have put a shadow effect. You may notice, I've zoomed it in here. They put a shadow effect behind each text. This is stupid. Honestly, like as a person who likes computing, putting frivolous shit like this in your phones are just, it's a misstep, if you ask me. It is not useful. And I mean, in some amount, maybe. Maybe. Is this also using the glass effect, right? It's cool because it's new. Give it a few years, this becomes old news. Do you still fucking care? I bet you no one fucking cares anymore. Hey, Apple, get rid of this shit. Honestly, that's more of an eyesore than anything else you can do, in my opinion. But anyway, the OS 26 only bringing in a glass effect is this is frivolous. This is absolutely frivolous. If they didn't make their phone thinner and this is all they had for the event, I'd be like very bearish on Apple. But the fact that they have the engineering chops, is that what they call it? The engineering skills or chops to pull off a very good looking, I would say it's very good looking. This phone's very good looking. It's a very good looking phone. You gotta admit it's a good looking phone. That's a very good looking phone. It looks good, it's thin. Is this the actual picture? That looks very nice. If it really has a titanium frame around, this is the, ugh. Are these the older phones though? I don't even know anymore. I think this is the iPhone Air, but I'm not even sure. I think it is, right? The horizontal bar is the iPhone Air. Yeah, it looks good, right? No doubt. Okay. All right. Now, the thing that kind of disturbed me a little bit though, no, don't translate it, please. That's expensive. That's expensive, okay? That's expensive. That's expensive. That's ugly. I'm not sure if I want to buy this. That's so ugly. Anyway, it says 초 우수이, 초 가루이, 초 조부. Extremely light, thin, and sturdy. Okay, fine. You say so. We'll find out, right? People will test it. Put the test. Sure. Maybe. Is that the glass thing? Looks stupid. I love how I always pick like people who are not like, remind me of Sharon, who are not, you know what I mean? They always pick like people who are attractive but a little bit awkward looking. I can't explain it. Because the moment they see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? They're not bad looking, but they're not attractive. You know, they're not like an Ariana Grande look or like a, you know what I'm saying? Or they never show prominent breasts, cleavage, mini skirts, height, you know. Because Apple's too clean for that, right? Okay, also I want to say that the Apple Silicon chips they have are way, like, they're really good, okay? Let's not make light of this. Their chips are amazing. The fabrication process is no joke. Samsung is Qualcomm, right? Snapdragon being the rival to Apple. But them using the same chips in their phones and also MacBooks, the fact that a MacBook Pro is this fast with this silence, this kind of power profile will not make light of it. The M1, M4 chips in these computers do make the computer. They're very quiet. They're very powerful, I think. Yeah, I mean, battery life. Yeah, I don't even use smartphones that much. I don't have much of a use case for them in my life. I don't even leave my house anymore, but I'm sure battery life matters to a lot of people. I just don't like the fact that iPhones are essentially consumption devices, right? You can't really create much. You can create some stuff, but not too much. Although I do want to change that a little bit. Like, isn't it possible to be creative on an iPhone? We'll have to see, huh? But anyway, like, the idea is that them being such a consumption device, you'd never really do much thinking. I mean, when you watch those public transportations full of people glued to their phones, you do wonder, like, is this good for you or is it bad for you or whatever? And yeah, that design looks very nice. You know, the only shitty part is they don't have a more, let's say, reusable battery. As one thing you realize is when you buy a phone, spend that much money on a phone, you want it to last at least 5 to 6 years, you know, to justify that kind of cost. It's a bit, yeah. It is a redesign. You think this will not happen again for another 3 or 4 years, at least 5. So, and first generation is not a problem because, you know, it's really the form factor we're looking at here. That is a very good design, and Yeah. This photo is already selling me on the damn thing. That is a very wow. My prediction is if you're not up to order this fucking phone on the release date, you will not get it for 2 months, maybe. I don't know. That was what happened before with these new phones. They get back ordered like crazy. I don't know if that's the case today, but my God, if people, I know there's phone nerds out there, and they want the latest and greatest. Fuck this thing, man, Jesus. Anyway, yeah. And also, Galen has a point. If these phones were a little bit more customizable in terms of their UI and appearance, it'd be built better. I'm not sure if I can do it now. Like, you can hide the little camera thing or the dark background. It's a nice phone. Nice phone. I mean, look at the design of it. It's just, this is tacky though. This is really tacky. I don't like this at all. This will be out of fashion in 2 years, I guarantee you. They'll either dial it back, they'll like go lighter on the effects, or just no one gives a shit anymore. Yeah. Yeah. Programming wise, all you add is this thing, this point glass effect on a view in SwiftUI, and it does its little magic, The iPhone Air device is already there, available. If I take it off, is the difference like this. If you just have a fill on it and run like that, it will not have the glass effect here. And holy fuck, it's slow. No glass. This is straight up opacity. I ain't wrong with opacity, right? What I was confused about, if you just add glass effect, then it doesn't really work. It doesn't really work. Like you get this tacky looking, like, what the fuck is this? It's so tacky looking. Like, it's because there's a fill, right? Or wait, I got it. Do this, right? Oh, right, because that makes it a view. What? Can you do this? Wait, maybe glass, I know the ordering of this matters. Maybe glass effect comes first. Let's see. Nope, makes no difference. Looks stupid. I believe you have to remove the fill. Sorry. Otherwise, or perhaps it's the whole background that's fucking it up. Hold on a second. Perhaps removing the whole background is what makes it work. I don't know. Let's see. Like, it works, right? I think it's the clip shape, but like, it works, but look at it. It's not that good, right? I mean, straight up opacities, it makes the colors stronger. I don't know, maybe if it was actually like properly shaped. Is there a clip on this? Why the fuck is it rounded like that? I think because it's considering like lighting and shit, like it has to make computational, like, that's just way too, well, I don't know. It doesn't look good. The one thing I'll give it credit for is that it does improve the legibility of text on top. Perhaps it is worthwhile to pursue. Why is it so rounded? Why is it so rounded? Why? No, you need to fill the background. It's just the glass effect. You can do a dot clear, making it more less opaque, but is that good? I don't know. I can't stand that. You can obviously tell that there is a rounding effect. I mean, the thing is, this is where I get caught myself, obsessed about doodoo and dd's and dadas that are not important. No one, the person who cares about these kind of like little flourishes, I think these kind of flourishes on you, are really the creator themselves. They're the ones who care. The people who use the app are like, why the fuck does it crash? How come I can't do this? Like, they're more concerned about the functionality of it, not how sexy it looks. Like, oh, look at that, huh? That's kind of neat, isn't it? I'm getting a little bit obsessed now. Look at that. That's a little better. Huh. That is kind of neat. I suppose the reason why they need a rounded corner is because without the rounded corner, it won't look... I know what to do here. If you just provide a lower opacity, like 5, like this, perhaps it will actually have... I mean, in some way, it looks like glass now, right? But this this rounded corner, I believe the curvature here is supplied by it. Can I not make the glass like... Huh? Surely there must be a... Oh, they're hiding it from your... No, it's there. Ah, shape! Shape! Huh? What shape? Oh! 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 Wait. Can we do that? I don't know how to do... You do like a shape in, right? How does that work? Comma, in shape. Huh? How's that syntax work? Dot in shape, some shape. Huh? Does this work? I seriously doubt it though. Is it like a dot? Oh, is it a dot thing? No, this can't be right. This doesn't even look right. I'll look at it. Maybe we can modify the glass. I got caught looking at doodles and dadas. Okay, that's it for this stream. I gotta eat breakfast now.